from that way. And thank you, Andy, for joining me, which is my morning and must be your evening.
Yes, pleasure to be with you again, Alexander. It's roughly 4:30 in the afternoon in Los Angeles, and it's good to be with you.
Great. Andy, for the last 10 minutes or so, we've been discussing off-air and now online, and this is going live to a large audience, the possibilities of in some way co-joining our research endeavours, not only just in terms of for the output around an academic profile, but also in terms of social capital and co-design, where you and I instigate with our supervisors in some way to share knowledge and to generate, you know, intellectual property that that brings meaning to the sector with this particular innovation called Google Glass. Andy, I understand that you've had some feedback from your colleagues, and as I have had mine, and we're very interested in Australasia in engaging in some activity that would co-join our respective organisations, so perhaps under a cooperative research and development agreement. It may be that it's around where, you know, government agencies and higher education sector in Australia, we need to formalise that connection first, which will probably take a couple of months, knowing the way that lawyers and everything work. But then once in that period of time, I can see, even just from our short period of time online in our community with 100 or so people, that there's already a great deal of interest, and I'm receiving a number of hypotheses or scenarios where people are saying, particularly to myself, if I had glass, these are the sorts of activities that I would like to conduct with my cohort and the participants in this particular area, and it's within the disabilities and within cognitive impairment, a whole range of different areas that people are interested in. Yeah, it just makes sense to connect the dots that way.
Yes, definitely. I think through my interaction with you, and it's actually it's only been a few weeks, maybe a few weeks, and we've seen just how the community that you created, that we partner with, has grown, and we've seen different individuals that are doing similar work, maybe with a different population, and we've seen just their work and how we've all kind of come together with a common purpose. And so I think it would be great if our two organizations can work together in looking at different scenarios for glass and its use with people with certain disabilities, and other kinds of uses for wearables.
So I'm about to go to another meeting very shortly around a symposium that we have triggered at the University of Canberra, which happens to be in the Australia's capital territory, meaning the capital of Australia. And that symposium is exploring the use of wearable technology across a number of different disciplines and faculty areas, including that of disability services, what is known as the NDIS in Australia, which is the National Disability Support Program for people with disabilities to become more autonomous about the way that they manage and self-manage their funding, which has, even just by me mentioning the term, has a political connotation already. I can hear people saying in the background, this is not about politics, but invariably we know it is. So there's that capacity to it, and on reflection, I think there's some very good tie-ins here with a number of initiatives that are happening already within what I have worked in the past with what was known as the ADP, or the Australasian Disabilities Professional Group. In fact, last night in LinkedIn, I noticed that Robin Kloss and Dan Kasumbi have have refriended me. as happens in life, you know, you get dragged off and do other things.
Right. Right.
They've come back, and they are very powerful individuals. So we have a number of avenues of funding. We have a number of avenues of support, and we also have commensurate organisations that work in a professional manner in this way. So I'm looking forward to your supervisors and directors' response to our public proposal we're making at this point, and then we can move into once you have an indication of support from your side or interest, we can put our intellectual property people together, and meanwhile, you know, as you and I do, we keep our ears and eyes to the ground, and we visualize that through the community, I think, online. Pardon me. And I like the fact that you are able to speak cogently and honestly, directly to Thad. Thad, come and respond, because
I did invite him personally to the community, but you know, obviously have not heard back. But
it will happen in due time.
Yeah, I have the utmost respect for him, and
of course.
I'm just curious what his thoughts are, because you know, articles can be skewed and written a certain way, but I'm sure there's more to it than what the article states. But yeah, it would be definitely like hearing from the voice of God if he responds.
Well,
in terms of the design of
that's
Google
the design side, yeah. Most entirely, yeah. I mean, look, you know, we all have to have the utmost of respect to an engineer who has persisted through time across a couple of decades.
Right.
And his principle, as I understand it, his principle foundations of discussion and exploration, and also his intellect, has been around assisting in the assistive technologies environment.
Right.
So Glass grew from that, as I've visualized in the community this morning.
Right.
And I met with him in an event that I co-convened and hosted in Toronto University, along with Professor Steve Mann and 70 other key engineers for this. So the Thad's listening. As always, there's a million other things that are going on at the moment. So
sure.
As we go, we can only but afford the invitation, and then we just keep going with what we need to do. And those luminaries and people will visualize when they need to. Well, Andy, I think that's enough information for people to know about what we're up to and what's happened in 2 weeks. Yeah.
It's only been 2 weeks. Wow.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't think it's been 2 weeks. So what we can put forward from here is that I'm going to now send this to my director and my supervisors, and likewise, if you could do the same, let's continue to communicate in our asynchronous manner in the community, and we'll visit back here in another week or so and see where we're at. Sounds good.
We definitely look forward to whatever becomes of what we do, and specifically our collaboration. So looking forward to it.
Excellent, Andy. Thank you very much. I know that it's your evening there. You need to go to sleep, so I'm just waking up.
I need to pick up my kids from school. So
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Andy. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.
Thanks for your time.
Much appreciated. Bye for now.